What is happening there, boys and girls? Jim here, RCAD. Today is Friday, November 1st, 2024. We're back out at the rock pile with Dan Weiss. Dan Weiss?
Yep, Dan Weiss.
Dan Weiss. And we've got two of Dan's vehicles, Dirt's Off-Road Towing, another custom Dan vehicle.
Yeah.
And this is another custom crawler that you have, crawler?
Kind of a half crawler, half trail truck, but it's a really good truck. And I see I left the body out, so.
Half crawler, half trail truck, and this is running brushless system in there.
Yeah, it's
Hobbywing.
Also rubbing the Hobbywing, but that's the smaller one, the 1200.
The 1200 kV?
1200 kV.
Okay, the smaller Hobbywing.
Yeah.
Combination there.
Really good motor though.
Okay, and I'm gonna give this one a test drive today, and we're gonna see how they fly. Wow, that thing crawls super slow.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm just creeping as slow as it'll possibly go just to try out that brushless motor.
There'll be one in Jim's Christmas stocking, I'll guarantee you.
Yeah, so
It'll be on his list.
There's no doubt about that.
Santa needs to bring me.
I've been thinking about one for the Trail Finder too for years, but it's just creepy. Creeping and crawling, man.
Yeah, that's up to date. It's my winningest truck. But I have since bought that TGH chassis, Team Garage Hack, and started the other build in the red and blue truck. And so this one don't get quite as much drive time.
See, I'm working myself into a problem over here slowly.
Still a good truck though.
This is a wonderful crawler. I love the way that tire flexes, my God.
Yeah, it's really soft.
It crawls nice. Really trying to go up an angle that not many vehicles have made it up, if any.
Yeah, that rock wants to keep pulling you.
Yeah, if it keeps pulling down in.
Direction.
There we go. There, we found the right combination on that one.
Yep. It's got a good balance to it. It's the back tire rubbing. Don't worry about it. You can see a line on there.
Oh yeah, pre-trim line back there.
I just didn't trim it. I just put the truck back together after using it as a test truck for a while with different axles in it.
Do you have any kind of an overdrive going on with your axles?
Yes. This has got about 27% in it right now.
Okay.
I've had as high as 35% in it.
So the front's pulling a little bit harder.
Yeah, a little bit.
Or spinning just a little bit faster than the back.
And people say they're not trailable. That's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. I've run 35% on trail trucks, and you can't even tell that they have overdrive in the front when you're trailing.
If you're in loose, slippery terrain, you should be relatively okay, I would think.
Yeah, there's a lot of people putting information out there that is definitely wrong. That you can't trail your crawlers that are built for, rock crawling because of the overdrive.
Right.
But it don't wear nothing out. It don't get nothing hot. It don't, This is a,
It's a beautiful crawling truck is what it is.
Yeah, it's a really smooth truck.
Wow, it's so slow.
And it's got nice, powerful steering.
I think it's sweet. Boy, it's perfect for
so this is your
changing
first
fluids.
Time driving an Element?
Yeah, very first time driving an Element. There's no doubt about it. First time, you're the first person to bring an Element out here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you're setting records there, Dan. Precedences. Not only did you bring an Element out here, you brought a couple of them out here, and competition crawlers at that.
Yeah. No, my tow truck's not going to go through there as good as this thing is.
Right? This thing is a beautiful crawling vehicle.
Yeah, it is. It's so predictable what it's doing.
I know a lot of people are... I was going to start out this video inside our garage with the inside the RC workshop with the body off in this vehicle and showing you guys everything that was underneath. But this is one of Dan's competition crawlers, so I don't want to give away any kind of trade secrets, boys and girls. So unfortunately, we're not going to be looking underneath the hood of this vehicle. At least you get to see it in action. It's a good crawling machine. The servo is very smooth. What kind of servo was that?
That is a Holmes Hobbies.
Holmes Hobby?
It's a 1,000 ounce on like 8.4 volts.
That's impressive.
But it's running direct power, so it'll be running 11.1 volts. Is that right?
Yeah, direct power.
Yeah, 3S.
Depending on if you're running it through a BEC or not.
No, it's running right off the battery.
Wow. Yeah, can handle that much power.
Yep, absolutely.
That is a good little crawl up that.
It has for a year. Yeah, the drag bank's not quite as strong as it could be, but
yeah, notice that when I let off just initially there, a little rollback.
Yep. Where the 1800 is a little better.
It's a nice crawling machine. Hear a leaf blower in the background coming through.
We got a beautiful night, yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad, eh? We'll not jinx ourselves and knock on some wood. We went out for a night crawl last night as well on Halloween. We took the vehicles out to the woods. It was a very sketchy run. Extremely windy. A little bit rainy. Widowmaker's falling. Yeah, you could hear branches breaking and things falling. We might not have been able to hear them on camera. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. But there is definitely some tree breakage going on.
Yeah, I don't think, this is just my opinion, just like anybody else's opinion. Everybody wants to get a Vanquish or whatever. Kind of got to go with your budget.
Right.
And these are definitely a more budget-friendly truck. And my goal was to try to show people without a lot of money that you can make a budget crawler and at least go out and compete with people and have fun and not have to spend the thousands of dollars you might on other brands.
Agreed.
And I've done it.
Right.
I've earned their respect.
Agreed. I agree with you wholeheartedly about that.
Because it's not in everybody's budget to be able to, buy a VRD or,
Yeah, not
I'm
being.
not trying to throw names because they're all
right.
good trucks.
Yeah, they're all good trucks. I don't have anything against them. I just don't have that money that kind of money to pay for it. I'm more the guy that's going to try to take a Red Cat and make it do, what this is doing, or an Ascender and try to make it do a competition.
And you certainly could take one of your Ascenders and turn it into this.
Yeah, this thing is amazing. I think an Ascender with an element transmission might be better off versus a versus the Matera transmission. I might just run this thing all the way through and then do a video with yours on a separate shot because this thing is great crawling truck, Dan. Unbelievable. Nice job building this thing.
Now you know why it's my winningest truck.
Oh, this is nice.
Now I don't have the time on the other one like I have on this. And that's a lot of it too. I think, Jim, is when you have a comp truck.
Right.
If you just keep running the same truck and quit changing stuff and learn the truck.
Oh, yeah.
You can do a lot better with it than if you're like, okay, go home this week, put another $100 worth of parts on it. You go out, you try it, and then you go put another $50 worth of parts on it. Just keep driving.
Yeah, and master the truck itself.
Yeah. Know its strengths and its weaknesses and learn how to pick them lines.
Wow, that thing is beautiful. Just walked right up over there.
Yes, it's a nice truck. I've always been very happy with this truck.
And not much suspension travel.
Not much at all.
How many millimeters are those shocks, basically?
Them are 80 millimeter shocks, and they're limited. I got a 10 millimeter limiter inside of it as a rubber cushion on the inside. Because you don't want these kind of shocks to slam on the bottom with no cushion.
Right.
Because it runs out of oil then.
Okay.
So you ever look at the piston in a shock, it'll go right up to the top, and it actually runs itself out of oil. Or the bottom, you know what I mean?
Right.
and it pushes all the oil through the holes. Well, then it makes a suction, and it also has to suck that little bit of air pocket. So if you keep it up off there, you're always in oil.
Okay.
So you get smoother action shock. So you give up a little to get a little. But I just use a soft piece of rubber hose, very small.
It's amazing that you can get that, but you can get it to crawl as good with just that little bit of
everybody thinks longer
gravel.
shocks make better, but and it does in some things. But if you have to side hill trucks, the more your suspension will roll, the faster you'll be done with your.
The faster you're gonna roll.
Yeah, exactly.
The more give your suspension as, and I noticed that right through this section right here with the Red Cat Gen 8 as I was making this approach a couple times on different videos, the truck would totally keel up onto the back corner. You would think you were about to go over, but it would just hit the bottom out point and then it would catch it and start walking, you know, because it couldn't go any further. Oh, this is a heck of a little spot here.
And being that it has the ability to creep so slow, you can really think about where you're placing the tires versus a truck that bumps. You know, you bump it and it has to take off.
Now I'm always a risk taker, so I wasn't really thinking about tire placement so much as I was trying to get to the furthest outside edge on this rock. And it's doing great.
Yeah, you're doing a good job with it. The truck is fully capable.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. This thing is full on capable. And what kind of tires are you running? Jconcept?
Jconcept
1.9 Tusks.
Now, where we live in Michigan, Tusk are about the best tire on our stones. Here, what we have to offer.
That is doing an amazing job climbing up that edge and holding on.
Yeah, them tires will just wrap right around and grip. Also, weighted rims. I think that's a big.
Those are Treal rims?
Them are Treal.
Treal wheels?
All my comp trucks run Treal rims, just because of the weight of them.
Kind of wiggle the servo around so I get that driver's side front tire to make contact on that rock there.
And when you have a good servo, you can actually horse the truck around.
Oh, for sure.
When it gets up inside rocks and stuff.
Man, I really like this servo. This is nice. I don't know if I've ever seen a Holmes Hobby servo at A-Main Hobbies for sale.
Oh, they have them.
I just must not have been looking.
They're in the overpriced section.
In the overpriced section, along with Protex and
exactly.
some of the other ones.
But sometimes you have to give up something to get something, and that was with servos. I learned quickly now. I'm all about the budget blue boxes at that store that you can buy stuff online.
Right, yeah.
They're great servos, and I run a lot of them. But they're not 1,000 ounces.
Oh yeah, it's like a cheap car amplifiers back in the day, and they would give you the highest stats, not the RMS stats for the wattage of the amplifier, and it's a 500 watts or something, but no, it's only like 25. It was 500 peak watts or something maybe, but only so much continuous.
Servo is only $40 or so, and then like this is like $120. So just depends on your budget. And it took me years to get there. When I started comping, I just used what I had and learned how to drive.
Right. Yeah, I'm jumping from truck to truck to truck from different videos, so I get used to one truck and then I'm jumping to another truck.
Yeah, we have some really good drivers in Controlled Chaos, our group. We have some really good drivers.
This truck, man, is unbelievable, Dan. Once again, you did an awesome job on this thing.
Thank you. Yeah, you're not the first person to drive it, and I let a guy comp with it, and he wanted to buy it from me bad. He offered me way more than what it was worth, but he didn't want to part with it.
I can't blame you. I can't blame you. It's a beautiful truck. Really, just crawls amazing.
Yeah, it just creeps along.
One tire in the air back here. No problems with anything so far. We've had constant motion for the most part.
You haven't got hung up on anything.
Nothing.
And that's not like any of your videos to date that I've watched.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely not gotten hung up on anything.
We had a little struggle, but that's a rough start.
It is a rough start right there. A lot of vehicles have trouble with that area. It's definitely hit and miss. Really flexing that tire on the passenger side to hang onto that rock, and it was doing a great job doing it. A little bit overcast here, boys and girls. Let's key on a little bit of light. I don't know if that's going to help or not. We might get a glare or something instead.
My own 3D printed insert.
On the tires?
Yep.
That's awesome. So you're not using a standard foam. You've got a 3D printed insert in there.
Yep. And I've been playing around with compounds of rubber to make them. There's guys that make awesome ones already, but that you can buy, you know, they're really good. But you know, when you start getting 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 trucks, and you got to buy inserts for them all, you spend a lot of money.
Right.
It was cheaper to buy a printer for $200.
That's something I do not have on the channel, is a printer. And I'm really computer ignorant in a lot of ways.
So don't be afraid of them.
I was.
Just find somebody that knows what they're doing just to help you out in the very beginning, first day of it, and then you're off and running.
Some people are overeducated, and that can be confusing.
Yeah. Yep. And that's a straight axle truck too. You know, there's no portals on that.
Yeah, you know, portals are great. I like portals, and they have their purpose.
Yeah, they're definitely probably some of the world's best comp trucks have portals, but they're running them, you know, like by the Curies or
weird.
The F9 Curie axles.
Right.
Probably some of the best axles made.
Pricey, but worth every penny, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know, you can get $500 into a set of axles pretty quick.
We are in a really bad spot here for the newcomers. This is a wicked area. A lot of trucks have sat in this. I sat in this spot for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes plus, probably, with some vehicles trying to make it through. Not to jinx us here. This is our first attempt. Oh, I just lost my footing.
No, I think you're gonna be all right, though. Get to slide a little off that rock.
Oh, Dan,
You're fine.
I put some scratches on your body.
They're all work tools.
That servo is awesome. I just brought the back end around with it.
Exactly.
Which we've done with the K10 Ascender. Showed a couple times. Previous owner had a servo that was, you know, not as good as this one, but
good servo.
Strong enough to muscle around the K10.
The only thing you want to watch with these powerful servos is holding them right or left full lock.
Okay. Really dragging them out.
It heats them up. You know, they're putting out so much. They're taking in so much voltage.
This one seems like it's turning a little bit better to the left than it is to the right.
Yeah, all elements do that.
Okay.
Just by
by design.
Are...
Yeah, it does have the steering link is behind the axle.
Yeah.
So we got our main steering link is behind the axle, which eliminates another contact point there in the front.
And it could be not set 100% proper. I just put the truck back together.
Right, yeah, you did. I mean, literally, and then you're
and ran up here with it. So
it just stopped raining, and we're kind of going in between raindrops.
After I put it together, so
right, Dan just kind of slapped it together and handed me the transmitter. So there you go, Jim. Take it for a run. See what you think. I tell you, it's a pretty darn cool truck. I'm gonna drop down and around this corner and try to climb back up this area, and we'll switch gears and see what your record does through here. Which I'm sure is just gonna be a hey, can it make it through kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, it's not gonna do what you just done. I'll tell you that.
This thing is amazing. I don't think too many trucks on my channel can do that. There's nothing has really. The Gen 8's done the best out of them all. The custom Red Cat Gen 8. It's made a pretty quick run through here, but definitely not as smooth and as effortlessly as this thing has.
It's fun when they drive like this, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's just a beautiful crawler. I'm gonna see if I can make it up the Green Rock here with your green truck.
That was one of my very first airbrush jobs, and I am embarrassed of it, but I
It's
keep
not
running it.
it's not bad really. I mean, that's a store-bought body looking like, a store-bought paint job or some off the shelf at a hobby store kind of thing. Whoa, don't do that, Timbo. Uh-oh.
I was pushing hard on that. I seen it pull the axle.
I might have just broke something here, Dan.
That's alright. You can fix it.
I did. All right, well, boys and girls, I broke Dan's truck.
That's the problem with 1,000 ounces. You don't.
No, we just took the C cup off the end of the axle here.
Oh yeah.
It was missing a screw. Bolt fell out of that.
Probably in the vibration on the drive up here.
It might have.
Remember we found them 2 bolts in the bottom of my trailer?
Yes, we did. Well, that could be one right there. All right, well, we're gonna put this back together real quick here, and
Get back. We'll just pause the video.
we'll pause the video and come back here with the screw and continue away. This thing is awesome so far. Loving that truck, Dan. Sorry about the breakage.
No, that's not your fault.
All right, we're back in action here. We got the truck all put back together. Missing screw is reattached. I thought Dan had a screw loose. Yeah, when he got here the other day, he found a couple screws in the bottom of his trailer that he hauls his RCs in. And that was one of the missing screws. We were wondering where they came from. Making contact with the front bumper. Awesome crawler. The first time ever driving a competition crawler. Always under the impression that more suspension is needed. The more suspension, the better, in my opinion, but amazed that we're getting it done so efficiently with such little travel. Right now we're bottoming out on the chassis. I don't know if we're gonna get past that. It does seem to have high angle links on it, or high clearance links. You can at least see them on the front. Might be a little bit too straight up for this vehicle. Wow. That's something else. That is crazy. This has really changed my opinion on Element. Dan is away at the moment, so it's just me talking to you guys and gals out there. This is a great crawling vehicle. High links, high angle links on the back. That's definitely helping out. There's no doubt about that. Right up and over top of the edge of this rock. Pretty big drop on the other side. Could go very bad. Probably shouldn't do it, right? It's not my truck. See if we can spin around. Oh, I hear the owner coming. I see the owner coming. He's like, what are you doing to my truck? I haven't rolled it yet. I just got going again. I was waiting for that pesky leaf blower to go by. You hear in the background, sounds like a hurricane in the background. No offense to the people down south who are struggling.
No, none at all. That's terrible.
Mike, yeah, it sucks.
Just kind of, if you bounce the servo quickly,
Oh yeah, little tremor.
you'll make it vibrate and it'll start sliding down that rock.
That's a I don't know how you bounce the servo that quick.
Oh. Yeah, there's a little trick to it. There you go. And you gotta have the wheel spinning while you're doing it.
Okay.
And bounce it, the truck will start trying to move.
Yeah, I didn't want it to go like that,
Yeah,
but
right.
it's still making forward progress.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that way. We'll go this way.
It'll move that rock.
I didn't want to move the rock. There we go. I just put a little scratch in the corner.
You're fired.
That scratch is mine.
Back for less.
This scratch is mine right there.
I'll make you sign it.
Yeah, right there.
I'm getting ready to paint a new body for it. And I don't want to say what it is yet. I want to wait till it's done.
Don't blame you.
And we'll bring it back out to your channel.
You're welcome out here anytime, Dan.
I'll give a hint though. The body's made by Biddy Designs.
Biddy Designs?
Yeah. They just have such good details.
Biddy Designs? Yeah, this thing's amazing.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
And this is a true story. I had a guy that wanted to trade for a TF2, right?
Right?
And I'm like, nah, I don't think really, And he's like, well, that's okay, because probably the TF2 will climb better than that thing.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
That's a TF2 guy, all right.
I was like, whatever you think, my friend.
Right. I once thought that too with my trail finder too.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Guilty as charged.
Exactly. That's a TF2 guy for sure. Sounds like the profile. My truck can do that. That's amazing. I tell your crinkle is crazy.
No.
Oh, don't roll it.
Was the steering better both ways now?
Yeah, it's much better. I thought I was steering better one way than it was the other, but
Yeah, you called it.
I should have checked it then, but it wasn't my truck, so I was like, well, maybe it's just the way it is,
When we pulled the trucks out of the trailer and found that bolt, I should have spent more time looking for
where it came from, right?
It wasn't in the trailer when I left. But I thought it might be one of those things that maybe it was in the frame or
Right, it's just like a stray screw,
but
floating around.
Stray screws.
No, generally not. At least not until I'm finished with the project. Then I've got leftovers, and I'm like, wait a minute, where'd they come from?
Then we have some extras.
Yeah, this truck is unbelievable. Reach out and grab this rock, which is a little ways in front of me yet. And we're not going in the way I wanted to. Proceed forward. Proceed backwards.
Turn passenger a little bit. Keep going forward a little bit. Yep, there you go. Work that tire passenger. Go.
Yeah, we're gonna get that front bumper over it.
Yeah.
We might get over it. There we go. There's a will, there's a way.
One way to skin and chicken.
As long as we don't pluck this thing up too bad, we'll be all right.
Yeah. If it does, we'll fix it. Got an awesome set of tools. My dad was a TV repairman.
Oh, that's awesome. I hear you. My dad was a copy repairman. I hear you though.
I tell everybody that.
I seen that movie.
Did you? You're one of the few.
All right, another one. I don't want to name the title, but many do. Spicoli. Spicoli's dad was a TV repairman.
Is that like a 6 o'clock whistle, or is that a?
That's the leaf blower.
Like a turbocharger.
Yeah, it's not running on the PTO on the back of a tractor.
Oh,
Big kahuna. They use it for blowing off the road around here. It's Mr. McIsaac actually owns that leaf blower. Or did own it. He kind of donated it back to the association. Said anybody can use it anytime they want, so we can go over there with the John Deere and use it if we wanted to.
Oh, okay.
I usually just don't have anything that I need that something that extreme for. I can usually get everything done with the backpack for the most part, but I find sometimes that thing creates too much mess because it blows pretty low to the ground. So it just blows gravel and everything everywhere.
Oh. Only good for big jobs.
Yeah, big jobs. Blowing off the road is good, and maybe blowing off a big yard or something. Your train. Trying this line, the Gen 8 made it up here. My Ascender Bronco made it up here.
The old element's not making it.
It'll make it. It's me coming in at the right angle. Trying to catch it on film at the same time so the boys and girls out there can absorb it. This is unbelievable. What a crawler, man. This has just ruined me, Dan, on everything else that I own.
I'm going to have to double check my trailer while I'm going up the end of the driveway.
Right, yeah, you got to double check your trailer on the way out. Make sure everything's intact.
Still in there.
All right, then you see it on the channel a couple days later. Look what Dan left.
Dan, you accidentally left us behind, but that's all right, buddy. I'll take care of it.
I'll make sure it gets good use. That's awesome. What a great vehicle. I'm not going to try to drive out of that because I've already done enough damage to Dan's vehicle, and I'm just doing more right there. Oh, there's another Jim original scratch there, Dan. Get my Sharpie out. I'll get it fixed for you. You'll never know the difference. All right, well, there we go, boys and girls. Competition crawler there, Element. Hand-built by Dan Weiss. Did a great job on it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's always been a good truck.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, Dan. Very nice job.
Still got steel chassis. It's not carbon fiber. It's C-channel. It's factory. You know, it's a Class 2 truck yet.
Class 2. It's Class A in my book, man. That thing is beautiful. Beautiful truck.
Thank you.
All right, well, we're going to continue on here and move on to Dan's off-road wrecker and let Dan drive through and see how he does. And that is going to do it on this video, boys and girls. Very much appreciated for y'all sticking around and watching. We'll be back here in a minute with Dan's off-road wrecker. Make sure to check out that video. That will be the next one to get uploaded. All right, that's going to do it. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks again.